Good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in your corner of this realm. Welcome. Greetings. We're glad you're here. Have I got a show for you today? Let a few more people file in and join the group. It's good to be back. It's been a tumultuous 3 weeks. Seems like more, but the wife and I are recovering from whatever the hell that was. I really don't know. But we're back up and running, getting our strength back, getting our appetites back. For a while there, it was pretty dire around here. It was some dark times here in the household. But I'm glad to be back. Thank you all for joining. Really glad you're here. I have got a show for you today. I'll let a few more people file in and let me look over here at the chat. I made sure to activate the chat this time around. I see Hippie Shake is here. Hello, friend. Dale W. Ultra Sweet Jesus is in the house. Capalicious. Palmo a Palmo Syntropia over there in Portugal. Greetings. Alright, so the countdown is winding down. Let me see, I've been experimenting with a few different presentation styles. And I think I've got a little something good for you today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the studio. Let's get this running. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's a good look. So I've been experimenting with different types of presentation styles, and that my computer can accommodate anyway. And this way, it's a little less taxing on my computer. Have you ever been watching a live stream and it gets kind of laggy and starts buffering? Yeah, I don't like that, and I try my best to not have that happen. And I think I've made the appropriate adjustments. But this here in the background, this is the phenakistoscope. Let me try that again. The phenakistoscope. I really like this look back here. Early period of early imagery. I think it's pretty cool. I've incorporated it into some of my intros and outros. So what I thought I would do today is, while I'm sharing on this screen in the lower left, that's my studio, and the screen that I'm looking at is where I do most of the editing. But then over just to the left, there's a second screen, and a lot of times I have that on, YouTube or some music, and I come across some of the wildest stuff, and when I see it, I know I like it, and I want to grab it, and there's just not enough hours in the day, it doesn't seem, and there's just not enough days in the week to share everything in the form of a, how do I want to say it? In the form of a short film. There we go. Okay. Let me bring the music down a little. And so, I started thinking, boy, I've got some really good footage here that I'd like to share with the community. But it's like, how do I get all of this into some type of format where, and then I thought, let's just run it as a live stream and see how it goes. And I've got a number of things queued up here for you. This first one here, this is called the Weird Thrills That America Pursued in the 1920s. And Be Alive. All right, let me get out of that one. All right, let's move on to the next. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I wanted to share that with you. The next thing I wanted to get into was, so I've been thinking of ways to, find ways to support my research and the short films. And so I started a merchandise store, and you can find that at billmillerflip.com. I've been uploading new designs almost daily. This one is that phenakistoscope. I got a number of designs that feature different screenshots from that film at the beginning. I just thought they were pretty cool. I think that people would really like these. And it's just a way to, it's not a lot. It's a few bucks here, a few bucks there, but if you want to support the research and the short films and, get something stylish in return, you could check out these designs. The idea is that I will, from any short film that I've got up on YouTube, I can do like a screen capture and, convert it into a design and then load it into, it's through Teespring. They got women's leggings. I did all of the designs on these. And if you got any ideas that you'd like a custom-made t-shirt or clothing, let me know and I can put something together for you. But I've also got some Piranesi shirts. I know he's a big one in this research. The clothes come in all the different sizes and the different colors, many different colors. So, if you see, there's probably a few hundred different designs that I have up here on billmillerflip.com, and you can access. Just keep scrolling through, and you'll come across something that you like, something that seems appealing to you. And I even got into backpacks. That's my first design backpack there. Want to get into doing those a little bit more creatively. There's women's clothing, men's clothing, children's clothing. It gets kind of crazy what you can do. So I kind of went wild with a few of these things. But anyway, billmillerflip.com helps support the channel, helps support the research, helps support the short films. Much appreciated. Thank you. And let's see, what do we got next for you? Oh, yeah. So let's see. He does not have a parachute. And there were some times during the last few weeks where I was like, am I just going to fall forever? I won't spoil it for you, but they jumped from such a height that he had to wear an oxygen mask the first halfway down. Fisheye lens, obviously, because there is no curvature. Anybody think, anybody have an idea what's going to happen here? I mean, this is a little bit of a venture from what I'm usually into, but I'll bring it full circle by the end of the show. Okay, so his support crew, they're out of there. They got to pull their chutes. He's free falling. Hey Ray, how's it going? Michael Joshua Lewis, good to see you. Here we go. Boom. So he just jumped out of an airplane from 15,000 feet without a parachute into a net. I had no idea that was even going on in this world that we live in. But it doesn't, it surprised me at first, but after I thought about it, I'm like, sure, people can now jump out of airplanes without parachutes and land in nets. I thought that was kind of crazy. Yeah, he's fine. All right. So what do we got up next up for you? I put together kind of a compilation of kind of like Daredevil, thrill-seeking kind of things. And next up we have good old Fred Dibna. He's now passed on, but he's family's over there in Britain, and he's a steeplejack. And his career path is a steeplejack. And I thought that this was incredible. A 300-foot brick tower. And this Fred Dibna, he has no fear of heights. And he does steeplejack work. He repairs them, and he also brings them down. And I'll show that in a little bit. But the purpose of this video that he was filming is to climb the tower freehand, no safety cable, and just to hang the Union Jack up on the top. He's quite a character. If you've never researched Fred Dibna, he's quite a character. He has a reverence for the old world. He's developed a system for repairing and mounting ladders to the sides of tall structures. He has a few children, a few different ex-wives, but boy, he can really go. I mean, he does not have a fear of heights, but look at that brickwork. And he will tell you that, a lot of these old tall structures were built during the steam powered era, and he gets into steam powered engines. He tinkers on those in his free time, and I don't do well with heights like that. I don't think that I would even attempt going anywhere near this, but he's 300 feet up without safety line. Oh, and another thing, he doesn't, on his hand, when he's climbing, you'll notice he doesn't put his hands on the crossbars. He uses the side struts of the ladder. It's just something that he learned from others, that you don't usually put your hands on the pegs. You put them on the side for better support. But look at that thing. That overhang. Unreal. Absolutely terrifying. Look at those corner pieces, those ball-shaped things just above him there. Think of the expense that they say, if you're talking mainstream narrative, why would you go to such a great extent to build a chimney, an exhaust chimney, and put all of these decorative details and add an enormous amount of extra cost? I mean, I think these towers and chimneys serve some other purpose, in the old world. That is just so terrifying. So it'd be one thing to get up there, but then getting back onto the ladder? Hell no. That was why he went up there, was to fly the Union Jack. His wife and kids down below. I just like that one. That was a good one. Okay, so what do we got next? All right. Then we get into some more modern climbs. I think that's kind of the theme of this show, is to take a look at thrill-seeking stunts, things that terrify most people. Sometimes I even have trouble just watching these things. But I'm trying to get over that, because it's an irrational fear. I'm sitting in the comfort of my home. I'm not any danger, but just watching as people do death-defying stunts has been kind of a fascination lately. And so I will make myself watch it, even though I get that crazy feeling in my stomach. How, you know, I'm not the one doing it, I'm just watching it. But for an image on a screen to create such an emotion, look at that. Oh my God. Unreal. So as I mentioned earlier, when I'm in the studio editing, I've got the one computer that's devoted primarily to editing, and then on the other screen, I've always got something running. So, and I see some of the wildest stuff, and when I see it, I know that I want to, either download it and share it somehow, but there's just not enough hours in the day. And there's just not enough days in the week to create all of these films. So this is kind of another experimental live stream where if I can get to this format down where I can share with you, a bunch of good research and footage, and while I'm talking, and I want people to see some of the stuff that I find, because I do spend a lot of time in the studio. I will admit that. I mean, it is a full-time endeavor. It is a passion though, so that helps. I love researching and creating films and then sharing, in the form of a short film or a movie. Lately I've been exploring the live streams on my channel. I've been part of a number of live streams over on Ray's channel, Boston Ray Mud Flood Adventures. I see he's in the house. Good to see you. Oh, Dustin's here. Bushwhacking History in Buffalo. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I thank you for understanding on that email. Dustin over at Bushwhacking History in Buffalo had sent me an email back when I had uploaded that Dublin, Ireland live stream, and he sent me an email, but I forget that I have two email accounts sometimes. I have the billmillerflip at Yahoo, and then I have the billmillerflip at Gmail. And it was probably 6 weeks since I had last looked at my Gmail account, and got an email from Dustin that I was tardy in responding to, and I actually had gotten a email from John Levi around that same time, and I wrote him back too, said, John, sorry I missed your email. It was I don't check this for some reason. My Gmail account is linked up with my YouTube somehow, but originally it was the Yahoo account. But let's see, Ann Pearson is here. Bex, Holistic Media. India, how are you? Good to see you. What else do we got here? Cindy Wright. Mr. Right One. Got a good crowd here. 20 people here. Thank you all for joining. Welcome. But these old towers, these old brick towers, they kept popping up, and they've fallen into disrepair. A lot of them, they've just been abandoned. But they've made a comeback in the base jumping community. I don't know that I could. I mean, I suppose I would if the conditions were right, but it would be difficult for me to base jump or skydive, but it's overcoming fear. I mean, we face fear in our daily lives, or at least I do. I shouldn't speak for others, but and besides the base jumping community, there's the community that likes to get in on new construction sites of new skyscrapers, and they like to climb to the top and do all sorts of crazy stunts from hanging from the highest point of the skyscraper and doing selfies and hanging with one hand and makes my fears seem less, I should say, because I have a fear, live streams, there's some fear or anxiety when it comes time to hit that live button. My voice starts to crackle and I get a little tight in the chest, and I just realized should have a little bit more music. Yeah. But this is an experimental live stream. How's that? A little better? I'll give you a kind of a quick technical rundown. So what I was finding that, so I'd find a video and I would download it to my computer, and when I would live stream, I would run it through a VLC, and it was really bogging down my computer. But then I figured out window capture. So I'm just using the internet. I'm using YouTube to play it instead of my computer, which allows my computer to run at a much more efficient and proficient level, and letting the internet do the hard work of running the video. And I experimenting with the screen size, so I've expanded the screen so that you don't see the writing on the sides or on the writing on the above, so it gives the viewer a better look, I think. But these old towers, they're kind of an anomaly. Some of them, especially the brick ones. It's like how you would go to all the, oh my God, you would go to all the expense and resources of constructing a massive tower, only to only to abandon it later. That's doesn't seem efficient or likely. Why would you abandon? Now, I can't remember. I can't remember if he's a base jumper or if he's just a climber, because sometimes they climb up, but they don't jump. They just climb back down. But how do you get over that? Oh my God! How do you get over that fear? How does one? I don't know if anybody in the chat here knows anybody that does this kind of stuff, but yeah, he just climbed back down. He just went up. He climbed up there just to take some selfies. Crazy. All right, what do I got next for you? So I think I'll run for about another. We'll see how it goes, but I can run for an hour. Oh, this next one. Yeah, I really like this one. This guy, his name is Josh Newman, and he's a professional skateboarder, downhill skateboarder. He does a lot of base jumping and skydiving as well. But this footage is from Italy, I believe, and it's the Dolomite Mountains back there in the background. But he will reach speeds of 70 miles an hour. And I have done this in the past. I still have the board. It's over there. Downhill skateboarding. But what blew me away about this kid is, I guess this generation of downhillers, they don't wear a lot of pads. I remember when I did it, I had full knee pads, elbow pads, you know. He does have a helmet, but that's kind of rare if you watch his collection of footage. A lot of times he doesn't wear a helmet. Really, the only thing that he uses are those gloves. There's some special gloves that you use. And you can see those white circles that are on the palms of the gloves. Those are like a hard plastic or a ceramic. And you use them to slide and kind of stabilize yourself. But he can go from 70 miles an hour, and just by using that little maneuver where he kicks out the side, he can check his speed and slow himself down without taking his feet off. I just thought that was amazing. Like, I mean, right through this section, he's hitting 70 miles an hour, and he has a chase vehicle. His crew's in the car following him. They've got the camera mounted on the front of the vehicle, and the microphone's on the front. I've even seen them, one of his crew members will fly the drone from the car and chase him with the drone down the mountain. That's pretty cool. Some really good. He's also a filmmaker. I should say, as soon as I got into this guy, Josh Newman, a couple months ago, I watched all of his films. He's a filmmaker and he's a, thrill seeker. Two things that I really enjoy. I found out that unfortunately he was killed in an airplane accident in Iceland. Last year, I believe, which is really unfortunate. He's a young man. He's in his early 20s. So he traveled the world. His YouTube channel, he had like 1 million subscribers. And he was able to pretty much just follow his passion and follow his dreams of traveling the world and going down some of the wildest mountain runs there are on the face of the earth, and skydiving and all sorts of stuff. But unfortunately, we lost Josh to an airplane accident in Iceland. Very unfortunate. An amazing kid, though. But I noticed, I picked this one because of the scenery in Italy. The Dolomites. Yeah, this is the Italian Dolomites. While I was watching his films, I noticed that a lot of these places that he does filming, there's a lot of old world architecture that will kind of sneak into the picture. Like he'll fly by and you'll see an old a villa off to the side, or an ancient tunnel or something, and that kind of got my attention. And then also the Dolomite Mountains, there's the melted building community that I know that they would appreciate this, as some of those mountains do appear to be melted buildings in some cases. It's don't have much close-ups of those in this footage, but so think about building the road for this. I mean, how long would it take to grade the road from top to bottom. I mean, and whose idea was it? It's like, let's make a road through the mountains, you know? It's a big endeavor. But like I said, I did do, you know, I do have some skateboarding earlier in my life. I'm kind of inactive right now and have been for quite some time, but I did get out the other day and just did some pushing around, but you know, primarily in the beginning I was, you know, riding in the street, and then I got into the ramp riding, the vert skating, and, you know, from there I did get into downhill, and it was a different style of downhill skateboarding, because I hadn't figured out, or there wasn't enough information back in the 80s or 90s to see people doing it like this. Like, he's able to slide his wheels out while he's going really fast to like slow himself down, so the wheels are made of a slightly different urethane formula. I think it's urethane, but the wheels, they're grippy, but then you can use them to slow yourself down. Like, let's see if right there. So he uses that maneuver where he kicks out the tail of the board, and it slows you down, and he rarely puts his hand on the ground, which is, to me, is just unbelievable. How do you he will put it down from time to time, but he's so good at checking up his speed and slowing himself down, because I mean, this run through here, that's 60, 70 miles an hour that he's been clocked at. And he does put his hand down to slide around the corners sometimes to slow himself down, but I mean, without doing that, you'd hit 100 miles an hour or fly off the side of the mountain, you know? His legs have to be screaming at this point. Grabs the board for stability. I think he's got such good technique. Watch his board here. Slurr. Yeah. And he instructs his support crew in the vehicle behind him. He's like, get right up on me. He's like, I want you as close as you can get. He's like, I want, you know, it would be amazing to be standing down the road, you know, about 200 yards and watch them come by, like a skateboarder with a car, you know, a few feet behind him. Sometimes you can even hear the wheels screeching in the background. He's got such good technique. Look how his knees support one another. I mean, that's a pretty amazing kid that, you know, started out as a skateboarder and started, you know, documenting his skateboarding, and started a YouTube channel and built it up to, what does it say, over 1 million subscribers just from skateboarding and as filmmaking and some other thrill seeking. He does have some sponsors too, but that's motivational to me. He was able to support his passion and his love of skateboarding and filmmaking and travel the world. Wow. I mean, how amazing would that be? And it's doing things that you enjoy doing, things that you have a passion for, and he incorporated them together, the skateboarding and the filmmaking. You know, when I'm filling out the show notes for this one, I'll leave a link to Josh Newman. That's the name of his channel, Josh Newman. Neuman, Newman. But he's really creative. He gets really creative with the filmmaking. This is just raw footage. There's been little editing done to it. Very few cuts in the footage. Some of his more produced films are really, really cool. I mean, he's been going for 10 minutes. I mean, his legs have just got to be screaming. So a day on, like, say, this trip for him, it would just be a day full of getting up early. They like to get up early and start riding the mountain and shooting film, and just he has probably 3 or 4 people with him that also do the downhill skateboarding, so there's a crew of them. There's some really good footage when there's 3 or 4 of them in the shot, riding next to each other. Alright, so how we doing? I see we're up to 25 people here. Wow, incredible. Thank you for joining. Welcome. I've got a few more clips for you, and I thought maybe towards the end I would play two of my more recent films, and okay. So I like this one because it is, it's another. All right, next up for you. Got this guy named, his name is Chucky Wright. Excuse me. And Chucky Wright is he's a paramotor specialist. And he also has a YouTube channel where he just documents himself flying around in his paramotor. I thought the footage was really, really cool. He, this is another one that I came across when I was editing, and I looked over at the screen to my left, and I was like, what is this guy doing? And the whole goal of this footage here is he's going up to 17,000 feet. And he doesn't normally go that high. I mean, he's only around, usually most of his rides he's around 4,000 feet or 400 feet, somewhere around there. But he decided that he was going to take it up to 17,500 feet because it's just what he wanted to do. Let me see if I can bring the camera back in here for a second. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Oops. I don't know that I would get into this. I mean, it does seem safe. I mean, they do have parachutes. I think there's 2 parachutes on board in the case of an emergency that the wing should fail. I've seen footage of the parachute being deployed in the case of emergency. It seemed to work pretty well. But what confidence you would have to grow. I mean, he's just very, very confident in what he can do. When I was going through Chucky Wright's collection of videos, he also comes across old world structures and, evidence. He flies through what we call quarries, but they do appear to be old structures. Perhaps I'll play that video in another live stream, but I wanted to play this particular one because of the footage. What I thought was really interesting is that during the middle of the summer where he's at, the temperature on the ground could be 90 degrees or higher. And you only have to go 2 miles up before you he's wearing fully outfitted with winter gear to go to just 17,000 feet. And just 2 miles below, it's summer. Hot. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't realize that until, or realize that until I watched this, and I'm like, wow, you only have to go 2 miles and you're freezing. You went from summer hot day to freezing in a short period of time, just going up 2 miles. He did it. There we go. Look at that footage. So amazing. He's never been through clouds before. Thank you, God, for creating this earth. Wow. He's very confident. And he's done. Very confident young man, that's for sure. That's just another fear to overcome. He makes it seem so effortless. Wow, very good. Well, let me pop over here to the chat. Let's hopefully everything's going good as far as the technical aspect of the live stream. Manny Silver is here. Hippie Shake is here. Capalicious 420. Ann Pearson. Aaron Christopher. Oh, we're up to 30. Here we go. We keep climbing. Skip, he's here. Robert O'Rourke. Oh, Italy. Hey, Robert. Robert's in Italy. I think you might be my first viewer from Italy, or at least for one of the live streams. Thank you for joining us, Robert. Thank you for representing Italy. I don't know if you saw it earlier, Robert, but the downhill skateboarder, he was in Italy in that run through the Dolomites, the Dolomite Mountains. Who else do we got? I think the audio is still good. Everything's looking good. Where are we at? Yeah, okay, that's a good look. Kinda. Remember earlier we watched Fred Dibna? I got, aside from his steeple climbing, he also does steeple jack removal. Like these old towers, these old chimneys all have to come down, or I shouldn't say they don't have to, but they're making their way through getting rid of them. So Fred will get hired to come in from a local city, and he will get hired to remove the local steeple, and he's got a technique where he uses fire to bring down these old chimneys, these old brick chimneys. He'll chop out about, maybe a third of the bottom of it. But then once he has about a third of the bottom chopped out, they pile it up with wood and tires, and they start this massive fire, and the fire slowly heats up the mortar and the brick, and eventually it fails. And I know that failing brick structures have come up in our research. It's come up in my research. I did feature it in the Dublin, Ireland film and the Baltimore, Maryland, where fire is said to have brought cities to the ground. And the bricks aren't starting on fire. It doesn't look like, but the heat does appear to make things unstable. So I'm wondering, if, because in those films, like Dublin, for example, the city was said to have burned to the ground because the soldiers were shooting at each other. I did tie that back into the old world fire brigades, the ancient bomberos, so they're called. The fire department was the bomb squad. That's what they called them for a while. They were just the bomberos who, they were in charge of bringing buildings down. So I'm piecing together, an expanded theory on how fire can destroy buildings and how the fire starts, how it's managed, how it's directed, and its effects on the mortar. I think the mortar, there's something to the mortar. In the Dublin film, there's that footage of the Vancouver fire of 1904 where they're spraying. You can see them spraying. We assume that it's water. But I did have a viewer, a commenter said, what if there was like some type of solution or like an acid that they were spraying on there that starts to eat away at the mortar, and then you add the heat and the mortar becomes really unstable and things just start to loosen up and start to fall. It's one idea. It's a theory. Not saying that's 100% true, but in this research we do have to theorize. And look to each other and share notes and like look for evidence. And this footage is from the 70s, so I mean it's 50 years old, but this is how he brings down these old towers. He's so good at it, or he was so good at it, that he can shape the direction that it falls. They have an area where they want to land the chimney when it falls. And it's a big ordeal. I mean, all the people come from miles and miles around on the day that Fred's going to bring down the local steeple because it's quite a spectacle. Fred's a smoker and a drinker, and he doesn't mind spending his time in the pub after the day's over. Nothing wrong with that. Quite a character. If you're ever interested, Fred Dibnah. Last name is spelled Dibnah. Dibnah. I believe he's from Bolton. I don't know my British geography as well as I should. Some of the smaller towns, but Fred Dibnah was known as the Bolton Steeplejack. If anybody over there in Britannia knows where Bolton is. I'm getting better at picking up the different dialects of British language. You can tell, kind of like here in the United States, you can tell what area people are from by a lot of times by the way they speak. So, I mean, this fire was heavily fueled by wood and tires to reach such a high temperature. But if you were talking about just normal, everyday things that you would find in a building, I don't know that there's enough fuel inside of your an old world municipal building or city building or commercial building, I don't know if there's enough fuel that it would burn that long. You would need to have it packed full of stuff for the fire to stay, unless you had help from, oh, there it goes. There it goes. Boom. Incredible. And the crowd goes wild. And back in the day, the kids could come running up to a burning pile of demolished steeple right up to it within feet. Sometimes they even had to shoo the kids away. The regulations were so lax. Kids were like helping start the fires, and it's like, but nowadays everything's got to be cordoned off, for safety reasons. But I'm just saying, back in the day, they weren't so strict. Okay, one more from Fred Dibna. He went on to do a series of television shows, and this is the intro. I like this intro. It's going. I like that footage. Very Pink Floyd. Boom. Don't fuck. Did you like that? Yes, Fred, we did like that. Thank you. All right, well, we drinking and climbing. There's Blackpool Tower. Bolton's steep. I should probably turn the volume down. I don't. So Fred, he's an interesting character. I would check him out when you got some time. All right, so we've been going for 70 minutes, and we're up to 30 people. Wow, the stream is growing. Thank you all for joining. Glad you're all here. As I mentioned earlier in the live stream, if you hadn't heard, my wife and I had been really, really ill. She and I differ on what we had. She likes, she's a high school teacher, and they follow all of the guidelines, which is understandable. She knows how I feel about it, but about 3 weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and screaming pain in my stomach. It was awful. And my wife was sound asleep, and I'm like thinking, hey, maybe this is gonna go away, but it didn't. I couldn't find any position to make myself feel better. And the pain, it didn't fluctuate whatsoever. It was just this constant, sharp, intense kind of stabbing pain, and it was right in my lower abdomen on the left side. And, I'm trying to do some research to see what the hell this is. And I don't know. I'm like, all I can come up with is, something had ruptured. I thought something had exploded inside of me, but so my wife took me to the hospital, and she was really sick at the time. I wasn't sick yet. And they wheeled me into the back at the hospital, and then they wheeled me back out into the waiting room, and said that it was gonna be a while. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, how long are you talking about? And so I called, my wife went back home because she didn't want to be at the hospital because she was sick, and it was like 5 a.m. or something, and which is understandable. So she took me to another hospital, which was way better, and they got me in, they knocked me out, and they did a CT scan. It turned out I had kidney stones, right? And after I woke up, I never felt another ounce of pain from those kidney stones at all, which I thought was weird. Is like, how does morphine or whatever they gave me, how does that, that's only going to last for a little while. But the pain never came back, which I thought was strange. But I'm not complaining because it was awful, right? So I got home, and, I was worn out from the whole ordeal. And right after that, that's when I got sick, right? I got as sick as my wife. But I don't know if it was I don't know. I just did not feel well. And my wife and I spent like several, we're talking 6 or 7 days just bedridden, laying in bed, just moaning. It was awful. It was really, really awful. And lost my sense of taste, was really screwed up, and I'm not gonna get into what it just felt really bad. That's all I want to say. And it's only until just the past few days that I started feeling like getting back into the studio here. I didn't even want to be at the computer. It was so bad. I just kind of scrolling through some of the items you can find at billmillerflip.com if you want to buy any clothing designs or designs to help support the channel. Great Fire of Baltimore. But it went on for days, and I wanted to thank all the people who sent their thoughts and prayers. They were received. Thank you. They help for sure. I know Ray in Boston, he did a lot of shouting out for me, and got people to send me their thoughts and prayers, and they worked. Prayer works. But I'm feeling better. It's getting my strength back, and back at the computer. And kind of my latest endeavor has been clothing. Been trying to think of ways to support the channel. I know my wife would really, really be pleased if I was able to help support the channel and the research. So she was like, have you thought about doing a merchandise store? And I'm like, well, I have thought about it, but I was always putting it off. And I said, I think maybe it's time to invest some time into, first of all, getting some nice images. That's, if I do something, I want it to look nice, and so I got some cool images going on. You know, if you go to billmillerflip.com, you'll find a line of clothing called there's several lines. This one is called the phenakistoscope. That's that images that you saw earlier in the live stream. You see it at the beginning of some of my more recent films. Very, very pleasing to the eye, you know, images and figuring out how to design clothing. I never thought I was going to be designing clothing, but you know, if I'm going to do something, I want it to be pretty cool. I want people to like it, you know. It's so if you see anything from any of my short films, if you see a scene or a photograph or a clip, if you're like, hey, that would be a cool shirt, hit me up. I can put something together for you. And I believe these are reasonably priced. I know I see a lot of them that are much higher price, but try to keep it reasonable. You know, this company Teespring, who does it, they cover most of the costs. I mean, if I were to sell a shirt, it varies from shirt to shirt, but I get a few bucks, maybe $3-4 if I sell a shirt. That's it. But it would add up, and any amount is appreciated. You know, if anybody sees any designs that they like, billmillerflip.com, you will, I mean, there's probably 200 different designs. I've been busy designing. I even got into these backpacks. This is the first design. Not sure how I feel about that one. It is kind of cool, but the thing is I just have to start doing stuff to figure out how stuff works and improve from there. You know, I thought this hat was pretty cool. So you can do the different scenes, and then you can lay them on the clothing at different angles, and I thought it just turned out pretty cool. You can get cups, and I'm still new to clothing designs. I've only been doing it for less than a month, but they're turning out pretty good. I would like to get some feedback. Not necessarily, I mean, you don't have to buy a shirt, but just hearing what people are seeing, or hearing about what people are seeing in the designs would be helpful. Women's clothing, children's clothing. You know, the women's clothing is cut different than the men's, and I design each one per each item of clothing, so they're all kind of unique to each design. And there's some interesting ones, but you know, then you got your stock, you know, your basic hoodies. Hoodies are a good one. Name This City, I uploaded a bunch of new ones this morning, and if you go to billmillerflip.com, there's a line of clothing called Name This City, based on my series on YouTube. A bunch of different designs, adding more and more. I mean, once I figure something out, then I really kind of start making improvements, you know? And you can get into the different colors, which I thought was cool. But I will leave a link in the show notes to billmillerflip.com. There will be also links to any kind of, if you wanted to make any kind of donations, like Venmo or PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. Those links will be in the show notes as well. If anybody has any ideas for shirts, I would certainly custom make you a t-shirt. I would certainly do that for you, that's for sure. You can get a hold of me at billmillerflip@yahoo.com or at billmillerflip@gmail.com. You can leave me a comment in the comments, and I do a really good job, or I should say I do my best to answer all the comments in the videos at the bottom of the page. To me, it's important to connect with the community and all the really amazing individuals that we have in our community. It's the coolest community there is. I mean, branching out and meeting people. I'd love to get out to one of the meetups this summer. The summer is a good time to get out and meet people. I really like the different colors that you can that are available through Teespring. Teespring is the company that does the custom clothing designs, where you design the clothing and they cover all the they've got the company, they handle all the merchandise, and they print them, and the content creator gets a few dollars here and there from each shirt that they sell, but it's not a lot at this point, but it is helpful. So I'm kind of proud of some of these designs. There's a bit of a science, and there is a bit of an art form to figuring out how the images lay on the cloth itself. So there is a bit of there's some art to it. There's some I like these Piranesi ones. Got Piranesi. I want to do some more Piranesi designs. It's very classy look. Interesting colors. And they've got women's hoodies, children's hoodies, men's hoodies, and different types of hoodies. So it's not just a one-stop shop. You can find custom clothing in the different cuts and the different designs, which gives a lot of people a lot of good options if you want to support the channel and pick up a stylish piece of clothing. All right, so we're still hanging around 30 people in the chat. Thank you all again for being here. John Patton, yeah. I thought I did respond to you. Let me go back through. You did send a picture. It was the Civil War era cannon, right? I do apologize if I didn't get back to you, John, but let me scroll back through and see if I can pick that up, because I remember we were exchanging emails regarding the shirt. But John, I will follow up with you on that. Thank you for reminding me. Jughead69's here. Hippie Shake, of course. Aaron Christopher. Andrea73. Bex. Robert O'Rourke. Skip wants some Milwaukee merchandise, maybe. Yes, Skip. The Milwaukee merchandise is coming. Skip, we've exchanged emails. I know you. Thank you for those photographs. If you, I will follow up with you too. I'm glad. It'd be good to start putting some faces together with the community here in Milwaukee. There's a handful of people that I know that are in the area. Just haven't met anybody yet face to face, but that's coming. Flat Accord Music is here. Melanie Moran is here. Wow, this has been a great show. We're at about an hour and a half. There's a couple more things that I'd like to show, and we'll wrap it up. Maybe we'll call it about a 2-hour live stream. Don't want to go too long. but wanted to give people an opportunity to get in and see what I've been doing, hear about how I've been doing. Thank you again for all the thoughts and prayers for getting us back, my wife and I, back to good health. It's been a process, but we're getting there. Thank you again. So this one, as many of you know, and if I have a series called Name This City, where I get a collection of photographs and films and I put them together in a film style, and the viewer watches the film, and based on the photographs and the films, they try to identify the name of the city. And it's Name This City. I have season 1 and 2 in the books, and I just started season 3, and it's got a new look to it and a new feel. I like to change it up at the beginning of each season, and I've been getting a lot of good response on this on season 1. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. It's been solved, but in case somebody hasn't solved it, I'll hold off on naming the city until the end, but I won't hold that from you. But this is Name This City, Season 3, the season opener, Episode 1. Patreon.com/billmillerflip. Huh. No audio. Why is that? I apologize for no audio. I think I got it now. Hopefully I got the audio sorted out. Sorry about that. So we had a guess of Stockholm. Excellent guess. Very, very close. The city featured in that short film was Helsinki, Finland. Another Scandinavian city. There will be links to PayPal, Venmo, and Buy Me a Coffee and patreon.com in the show notes if anybody is in a position to donate to further the research, short films, and live streams. Much appreciated. Thank you. All right. Well, making our way through this live stream today. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you. We're still above 20 here in our live stream. We've had people from all over. I know Michael Joshua Lewis is over in Australia, and we got Hippie Shake over in Wales. What else do we got? I think I got my first viewer from Italy. Oh. There, that's better. Got my first viewer from Italy in a live stream. Very, very exciting. Singe Man is here. The most dangerous thing I do is spin a spear tip around and kick it and wrap it around my neck at high speeds. Yes. If anybody wants to check out some very fine spear work and what is the name of that singe with the weight on the end when you spin it? What is the name of that? I forgot. Singe Man is in the chat. He and I met through Ray, Boston Ray, Mudflood Adventures, aka Michelle L channel. He's doing a lot of great graphics design. Singe Man is uploading a slackline video today. Very cool. Yes. Thank you, John Patton. Thank you for stopping by today. I will follow up with you. Don't let me slide on that. I got to get back to you on that. I want to make sure make sure you get your shirt. I mean, that's why I'm doing it, right? Get you a shirt. Help support the research and the short films. Let's see. Palmo Alpalmo is here. He's over there in Portugal. Thank you for sticking with me, Palmo. Palmo Alpalmo, hand to hand. I think that's right. I don't speak Portuguese. I do speak some Spanish, but Palmo Alpalmo. Is that hand to hand? Syntropia. Sorry if I butchered that. Who else we got? Capilicious 420. Based on the good word of Hippie Shake 29, Capilicious is now a moderator on the channel here. Thank you. So far, no problems with trolls, but we're gonna keep it that way. Thanks to my incredible moderator staff here. Michael Joshua Lewis. Yes, there was no audio all show. What do you mean all show? Oh, I hope that's not true, Michael. I mean, there was a section where there wasn't any audio. I hope that wasn't the case, Michael. I do apologize if... Shoot, I'm kind of questioning now. All right, well, based on that, I want to conclude the live stream with one more short film. This has stunning footage of another city. This is the episode 2 of Name This City. Please let me know if you have audio in the Why is there no audio? Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna improvise. Drop the ball on the audio portion. Or something fell out of the audio because it was there earlier. I really hope that it's there, but thank you for sharing with me. It really does help to have people in the chat. Look at the fine detail. I decided to add layers of photographs with the films. I think they complement each other quite nicely a bit. I mean, I could just play just the films, but then there was also an amazing collection of old maps and photographs, so I wanted to get those in there too. Episode 2. That way you can hear the soundtrack that went along with the short film, because they went together really nicely, but unfortunately I've made some sort of miscalculation with the audio in the live stream. Hopefully it's not too bad. Some portions, maybe there was supposed to be some music, but there wasn't, but the visuals were still there and my mic was still there, hopefully. Oh, Isabella live. Hey, Morgan out. The one after another of films just started showing up of this city. And I knew I was onto something at that point. Because sometimes the research finds me. And I do my best to pay it. Much of it's been colored. I shouldn't say all of the footage is from the 1890s, because this is a little bit more modern. This is probably from the 50s. But I thought it I thought it worked out well for the end of the film, because I try to tell a story when I'm creating a short film. You know, I take the viewer on a journey, you know, a historical journey, and you know, so the things are put together in a creative way, not just randomly, but structured in a way that it tells a story. So this has been a great live stream. Visit billmillerflip.com if you would like to support the research and the short films and pick up some stylish clothing at the same time. I'll leave a link in the show notes, but the billmillerflip.com has probably 200 different clothing designs, pictures. Hopefully there's something there that you like. If you want to follow me on Patreon, the link is patreon.com/billmillerflip. And you can follow my progress over there. I have my second Patreon. You can also make a donation to PayPal, Venmo, or buy me a coffee. Those links are going to be in the show notes. But I picked up my second Patreon. I think the last live stream I had just gotten my first, but I have my second Patreon. And I believe that one is $3 a month. Can you believe that? Not just a one-time, it's $3 a month. Amazing. Thank you so much for your support. It really does further the research and the filmmaking. All right. I am parched. I need something to drink. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna start winding things down. It's been an amazing live stream. Coming up on 2 hours. I think that was my target, was 2 hours. It's a good length, I think. That's a good target. Good target time frame is 2 hours, give or take. Just kind of depends on how the show's going and what I have lined up. But the goal of this show was to find an acceptable way to run a live stream and share with you a lot of the things that I find when I'm researching and editing. Let's see if I can finish off here strong. There we go. Boom. Oh, I forgot to do something. No, actually, this is perfect timing. It didn't happen during this live stream, but in the past, I've had my one of my cats, Roger or Lucy. They'll come up on and sit right in front of me while I'm trying to do the live stream, and it can be comical at times. But I wanted to make sure if that happened again that I would be ready, because I'm just doing a little fidgeting here. Don't mind me, sorry. I'm just gonna run this in the background. It's I was hoping that Roger or Lucy would stop by. But they didn't. There's still a few minutes left, but I spent some time getting a secondary camera, and I wanted to, there we go. Okay. In case Roger or Lucy came around, I could switch over to kitty cam. You could see them. This kind of gives you a backstage look at the inner workings of the studio. This is where I do the filmmaking and the researching. I knew I wanted to get back into the live streams because I have found that if I wait too long between live streams, that I have to relearn everything and I have to reset up the computers, and I think I've streamlined that now, and hopefully I can do more frequent live streams in addition to the filmmaking, because my heart is really with the filmmaking. That's really my passion, is the filmmaking, is with the filmmaking and the researching, and then the live streams, that's kind of a bonus, but it's a good way to share with the viewer and my subscribers some of the other stuff that I've been working on. And I do hear a cat in the background. I wonder if we might get a visit from Roger or Lucy. You know, of course, the day that I set up the kitty cam over here, they don't show up. So I have a couple of computers. This one here, This is the main computer where I do the editing on. Here is the webcam. We got the microphone. And then over there is the second computer, and that's kind of what's playing. Like I can see the live stream on the second computer. And a lot of times when I'm editing and filmmaking, I have the screen up like somebody else's live streams on, or they've uploaded a new video and I want to check it out. And so I try to keep, there's so much good research and so many good videos. It's hard to watch it, to see everything, but I put forth a really good effort to see a lot of it, that's for sure. I don't know if Dustin is still here from Bushwhacking History of Buffalo, but he and I have been talking about doing a live stream at some point, or at least getting some conversations going. Hoping to hear back from John Levi. John, if you hear this, I didn't know that you had left me an email at my billmillerflip@gmail account. I'm gonna make I'm gonna be more devoted towards checking that account more often, because I missed an email from John Levi, and I missed an email from Dustin at Bushwhacking History of Buffalo. It's the same email. It's billmillerflip@yahoo, and it's billmillerflip@gmail. I just sometimes I don't remember that I have that Gmail one, and somehow it got linked up to my YouTube account. So when people look for my email address, they come across the Gmail account, and I did a poor job of reading that account, so I do apologize, but we'll get it going, we'll get things lined up. I thought this was a great show. Yes, Capalicious, I use OBS, but it's not Streamlabs. I think there's some, it's OBS, but it's not Streamlabs. It's just OBS. I think there is a way to connect the two. I think there's a way to do Streamlabs inside of OBS, but I found that it's more efficient just to do OBS. There's more of a learning curve with OBS than, say, StreamYards or Restream. Those are really, really user-friendly, kind of simple thing. There is some learning to do, but OBS is, it's complicated, but there's more things that you can do inside of the live stream. I'm still kind of learning that skill as well. There's so many softwares to learn, and so many things and levels and knobs and buttons it can get overwhelming, but if I can keep creating the films and learning this stuff on the side, we are headed in the right direction, but we'll be covering more ground and more content and more research in doing so. So it's all about learning and growing and creating and sharing, and but an amazing live stream. Look for, hopefully, I hope to get back in here at some point next week. I don't want to get too bold, but it looks like we're coming in right at 2 hours, the target amount. Share this out to your to whoever. Get some more people up here. I'm closing in on 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. When I had 300, I was really, really stoked, and closing in on 3,000, and just there's so many topics and so many conversations that need to be had in this research, with the old world, with the mud flood, with the melted buildings, with the great fires where all the cities around the world burned down, and then they built them back up, and then they burned down again. There's something going on here. I mean, and I think things are cyclical. Things come back around. So I think by reviewing the past and having a good
foundation in the old world and the old world events, that gives us insight, that gives us forethought, foreknowledge of upcoming events. And we're intelligent people in this community, that's for sure. I mean, very talented, creative, intelligent people. Amazing minds. And the more that we can do, the more that we can share, the better our community gets, and the stronger we get, and the more knowledge that we have. So thank you again to everybody for showing up. Please visit billmillerflip.com for your clothing designs. Help add a few dollars to the research. Please visit me at patreon.com/billmillerflip. I have some exclusive content over there on Patreon for my Patreons. That's something I want to do, is put up something really good that only the Patreons can see in the beginning. And you can get in there for as little as $1 or $1 a month. You can cancel at any time. But if it's not your thing, I totally feel you. If you are more comfortable with something like visiting me at PayPal or Venmo or buy me a coffee, all of those go to furthering the research and furthering the short films and helping my wife be a little bit happier. I know she would be the most thrilled of anybody if the financial support comes in for the research and the short films. I know that she would be thrilled. I love you, honey. Thank you for all of your patience. Couldn't have done it without you. We're getting there, hon. We're getting there. But thank you all again. I'm gonna fade out here and leave you with a little music, and we'll see you on the next one.